Good morning, fourth grade. Here is our second example problem. The problem says, find the unknown measure of a rectangle. So we look down. I know our question marks are our unknown measure. But if you look down even further, it says the perimeter equals 34 yards, the length equals blank. So it's already telling us that 1, we're using perimeter, and 2, we are looking for the length. That is what is represented by our question mark. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down my perimeter formula to get started. So I'm going to write P for perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and fill in the numbers that I already know to kind of give me a head start like we did in our first problem, and then I can see where I am and what I need to do. So I know that the perimeter equals 34. I do not know my length yet, so I'm still just going to leave it as 2 times L, plus I do know the width, so I can fill in my width as 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve as much as I can before I can't do anymore. So again, I know 34 equals 2 times L plus 10. So now I'm at a point where I can't multiply 2 times L and add it to 10, right? So I can't solve that way. So what I'm going to want to do is I know 2 times L plus 10 equals 34. So what I can do here is I can take this 10 and subtract it from 34 to find out what 2 times L is going to equal. This is one way I can solve it. So I could do 34 minus 10, which will equal 24. And then I know 24 equals 2 times L. So I know 2 times a number is going to equal 24. So I can either do what we did before, I can guess and check. I could write 2 times 8, well that equals 16, so I know it's not that. 2 times 10, that equals 20, so I know it's not that. Let me try 2 times 12 equals, 24. And I would know that L is equal to 24. Another way that I can do it instead of doing that, like we talked about before, I could use division because we know multiplication and division are inverse operations. So I could do 24 divided by 2 equals, and I would find 12. So what that would also tell me is that 2 times 12 equals 24 because we know they are inverse operations. So if I were to change it to 24 equals 2 times 12, I would see that I would get 24 equals 24. So I know that my length is going to equal 12 yards. Now, remember, you need to include your units in your answer. And this is how you can show your work. You can guess and check. You could use division and show that you know it's an inverse operation of multiplication. 2 different ways that you could solve it here. Now, another way we could have solved it, when I got to right here, 34 equals 2 times L, I could have just thought 2 times what number plus 10 will give me 34. Maybe right away you were able to say, hey, I know it's 2 times 12 will give me 24, and I know this needs to be 24 plus 10 to give me 34. You may be able to do that. If not, this is another great way that you can do it, and you're not doing too much math in your head. Everything's written down, and you're not going to make as many possible mistakes.